Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So today we're going to continue working on our little butcher chasing tool. So today we've gotten to the point of filing. So I've got this locked up in the vise, and I like to take and set this if I can, and I check this with a little speed square, or you can find it with an angle checker that you can get, a pitch checker or degree type thing. I forget what they call them, but you can pick those up at a Home Depot. I'll put a link to what I'm talking about in the description down below. But and that is an affiliate link that goes to help the channel, just for full disclosure there. But basically, I like to set this up at the pitch in which that I want to take and cut the butcher at. And in this case, I want it to be at a 60-degree angle. So I set this at a 60-degree angle, so this way I can file flat and keep my bevel correct. This way I'm not angling the file, I'm just angling, I'm just taking and establishing this while this is already set at the correct bevel. Now that I got a little bit of a bevel start, I'm going to bring this way down in here in the vise so this way it doesn't get the harmonics and that screeching effect. And make sure that top still stays level to the ground. And grind away. Now you can do this if you'd like at the bench grinder to put this bevel on here. I find that the file is a lot more controlled for cutting and making chasing tools, and so it's what I'll recommend. So there we go. So we're getting this slowly cut down all the way down to the edge, and hopefully you guys can still see that there. Let me take this down just a notch there so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can change up direction if you like on something that is square like this, but you always want to take and file across the piece to remove the most amount of stock possible. Now I like to file in this direction with the bevel, so this way I don't get any roll to it. I don't want any roll there. I want it to stay nice and square. So you can hear it start to get that little squeaky effect. That's because it's getting down to where it's thin and it start getting the harmonics going there. We don't want to have these harmonics taking off here if we can. Try to get this in here a little tighter. One thing that will help you with this is if you got a pair of wood blocks that match in the vise, they'll cut a lot of that squeakiness out of there. So let's see, let's file in this direction. It's less squeaky for the camera. Keep your file even and in plane to cut this butcher's edge. Keep it very even. Try not to do any twisting. Remember, files only cut in one direction. It's only cut in one direction with the file. So the ideal here is we just want to take and create just a nice square flat butcher tool. Now we're getting down pretty sharp there, and that's looking pretty alright. So now after you've gotten this at your 60-degree bevel filed in. By the way, this butcher tool has already been annealed, so for this process you want to make sure that you go ahead and normalize your stuff if you can. But there you go, you can see that 60-degree bevel. That's what we are looking for. Set this off the side, this little file here. That is what we're looking for. And when we actually start cutting material cold in steel, this will push in that direction. This material here will push away from wherever this is being struck. And so that's very, very important. Now I've already taken the liberty of rounding off this back end. I suggest a crowned surface on the back end of your chasing tools, so this way you can rock this at any pitch you'd like and hit at it, and not worry about hitting a weird edge or an angle and somehow thrusting it the wrong way. Now once you've got this profile you need to alleviate the edges a little bit. So these edges to the right here and to the left. So for you, this would be to the right and then to the left. So you want to alleviate these edges just ever so slightly, just so this way they don't leave galls in the work. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'll just get these set up. No real big trick here. Just alleviate the edge a little bit to give it some radiousness, so it's not so sharp. I'll flip it to the other side. Do the same thing. And I'm just rocking the file around the edge like so, just to remove those sharp edges. It being a little sharp won't hurt anything, but you know, you just want to take and put maybe a 1/64 of an inch radius on there. Just to where it's not sharp to the touch. So last but not least, I'm going to square up this bottom edge. And hopefully this is in shot. There we go. I think we're a little better in focus there. Now I need to actually square up this edge. I need to make sure it's square and in plane with the tool. So this way when we actually use this butcher, after we've done the hardening and tempering on it, that the edge is completely square to where it needs to be in relation to the way your eye's looking at the material. So we'll just roll that and radius that off, just like so. And now you're going to ask me, Roy, why did you radius that off? Don't you want that sharp? And yes, you do want this sharp, but not until after the heat treat. So we want to take this to the heat treating cycle, so we want to go to the hardening and the tempering step, but we don't want this with a super sharp edge going into the hardening step of the process. The reason for this being is that that really thin, microscopically thin edge will harden quicker. Just as soon as you pull it out into the air, it will harden quicker than what the rest of the material does. And then when the rest of the material contracts, this is immobile and it'll crack on you. And that's where a lot of you probably get your cracks on tools that end up cracking in the long run. But there you have it. So we've got that all radiused off, and now we are finally ready to take and go to the hardening and tempering step. So go on to step 3 in this video series on making this butcher tool for chasing. And you know, I'll see you in the next video about taking and actually doing the hardening and tempering step. And there's a few things to keep in mind there as we continue. I will keep adding more and more techniques as I go along through this whole thing until you guys can make an entire set of chasing tools for yourselves. So I will catch you in the next video, and like always, God bless you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.